Students, can you see this presentation? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
You can see, na? Okay, fine. Everyone can see, na? No problem, na? Fine. Let us start now. Here, first of all, you have to understand the meaning of national income. Now, the meaning of national income, this definition you have to by heart it. The definition is national income of a country can be defined as the total market value of all final goods and services produced in the economy during a given year. This is the very simple definition. Now I'll explain it to you. The meaning of this national income of a country can be defined as the total market value. Market value means the prices of the goods and services, and the final goods means the goods which are ready for the consumption. You need not have to do anything on that. Those goods are called as final goods. That means you purchase it and they are ready for the consumption. So national income of a country can be defined as the total market value of all final goods and services produced in the economy during a given year. This is what is the definition of national income. There are various definitions of national income. Some definitions are really big, but this is a very simple definition, and the meaning is totally clear in that. Now moving on to the second point, what are the methods of measuring national income? Here the concept of national income has three interpretations. It represents total value of goods produced and total of income received and total expenditure incurred in the economy. Now listen, there are 3 points: value of goods produced, total income received, and total expenditure incurred in the economy. This implies that the value of all goods and services produced in the economy must be equal to the sum of total payments made to the factors of production in the form of wages, rent, interest, and profit. That means it is a sum of all values of final goods and services produced in a year. All final goods and services produced in a year. It is a sum of sum of values of all final goods and services produced in a year. Now produced in a year. Second is that it is the sum of all incomes received or received to the or given to the factors of production in a year, and it is a sum of consumption or consumers expenditure. That means all types of expenditure: government expenditure, consumers expenditure, net investment expenditure on goods and services. Why I am telling you this? Because here there are three methods of measuring national income: product method, income method, and expenditure method. We need not have to go in details about that. You have to only understand there are three methods in the for measuring the national income. Product method means it is the sum value of all final goods and services produced in a year. According to income method, it is the sum of all incomes accruing to the factors of production in a economy or in a year. And then expenditure method means it is a sum of consumers expenditure, net investment expenditure, government expenditure on all goods and services. So only you have to understand that these are the three methods of measuring national income: product method, income method, expenditure method. Now moving on to the next point, what are the features of national income? That means what are the characteristics of national income? These are the 6 characteristics of national income. These are the 6 characteristics of national income. We will see one by one, and you all are aware that pointers are important. So all the points you have to by heart, and in front of that you have to write the explanation. Whatever explanation I am sharing with you, that is enough. If you want to add, you can add, but this is enough. So now point number 1, the characteristic of national income. Number 1, It is a flow concept. Flow concept. That means national income is a flow concept because it is the value of goods and services produced over a period of time. It doesn't happen, right, कि आज का दिन production हो गया, then it is totally closed. Again the same production can happen, again the third production can happen. That means it is a flow. It is not a static concept that the products are whatever the goods and services are produced on a particular date. Today is 11th. On 11th, whatever the production is there, that is all. We are not going to produce. It doesn't happen. Every minute, every second, every time the production takes place in the economy. So it is a flow concept. The production keeps coming in the economy. So this is a flow concept. Now the second is value of final goods. This is the value of final goods. What is the final goods? I said final goods are those goods which are ready for consumption. You need not have to do anything on that. So they are ready for consumption. So most of the goods and services pass through a series of production stages before reaching to the market. Right? There are so many things are happening. So say for example, if you want to buy a dress, before coming that dress into the market, there are so many things there are so many stages are there, right? The producer have to get the cloth, then it has to get stitched. So many things are happening. There are so many stages before reaching to the market. So national income measures the value of only final goods and services produced in the economy during a given period. That means your dress is a final good, your book is the final good. Before that, so many things have happened, but that is not considered. In the national income, what we consider is the value of final goods which are ready for the consumption. Then the third point is macroeconomic concept. Of course, now when I say that it is a national income, it is a macroeconomics concept because it is not an individual's income, it is a country's income. So national income reveals the income of the economy as a whole rather than the individual. It is not an individual person's income is measured in this. It is a total national income of India, total national income of America, total national income of Japan. So total national income, that means the nation's income is there. So it is not a micro concept, but it is a macroeconomic concept. National income is a macroeconomic concept. Now the next is monetary measure. Monetary measure is what? Monetary means money. Monetary is that is money. So national income is a monetary measure because the value of goods and services are expressed in terms of money. Today it is not a barter economy where we are exchanging goods for goods, but today's economy is a money economy, right? So we are using money. When you want to buy anything in the market, you have to use money. You have to give money, then only you can get the commodity. So national income is a monetary measure because the value of goods and services are expressed in terms of money. Any good, you go there, when you say this good is valuable, that gold item is very valuable. Why you say that gold is valuable? Because you are paying more money for that. You cannot give gold items to play to the children because they are very valuable. Why they are valuable? How the value is expressed? It is expressed in terms of money. When we are paying more amount, that is called as valuable. When you have some pencil or some pen in your hand, 1 rupee you paid for that, and if someone is asking for that, you can immediately give that because that value of that good is only expressed as in terms of money as 1 rupee. Right? So national income is a monetary measure because the value of goods and services are expressed in terms of money. Now the next point is, next characteristic is adds net export. In the economy, which is an open economy. Open economy, you know that, right? Open economy is an economy where goods, there is a import, there is a export. So which is open to the international trade. Net export. Now what is the meaning of net export? Net export means export minus import. So whatever is coming, that is called as net export, should be added to arrive at national income. We have to add how much net export we are getting in the economy, that is also added in the national income. So that is why it is coming to the we are considering international trade, and that should be added in the to arrive at national income, because we, according to the income method, when we see that we are adding all the income, so income from export is also added in that. Now the last feature of national income is it measures the economic growth. See, basically when we say that India's national income is growing, or India's national income is not growing, anything we can say, right? There is a growth in the national income or there is no growth in the national income. How can we say that? We compare that to the last year, or we compared that to the before that year, then we can say, right? So generally क्या होता है, generally what happens, that when we say that there is a growth of national income, that means it is showing us that country is also developing. So whether the country is developing or not, what is the country's performance, what is the economy's performance, what are the practical measures they have taken in the country, all those things are associated in the to the national income. So economic growth, generally when we say there is a growth, the growth is totally measured on the national income. If there is a increase in the national income, then we definitely say that there is a growth or there is a progress, right? Say for example, if you will be getting your result, then you said that, oh, first year result was very there is a good development in my performance. How you can say that? You are comparing to the first semester, then in the second semester you are getting good marks, so you say that, oh, my performance is better, right? So that is how the national income also is helping for measuring the economic progress, whether the country is developed or not, what are the problems in the economy, that we can understand thoroughly from the national income. So national economy is growth, any country, not only India, whether the country is developing country, whether the country is undeveloped country, whether the country is developed country, that economic growth is associated with the increase in national income. It's very simple. Say for example, if your father's salary is growing, that means there is a growth in your family. So in the same way, with the national income is growing, that means there is a economic growth. This is what you have to understand here. So these are the 6 characteristics of national income. One is flow concept, second is value of final goods, third is macroeconomic concept, next monetary measures, next adds net export, and the last one is measures economic progress. So when the question will be there that explain the explain the features of national income, you have to give these all points. Okay, so meaning of national income, methods of measuring national income, and features of national income we already discussed. So now the next point we will discuss, that is importance of national income. Here in the importance there are 8 points. There are 8 points, and again you have to see that why national income is important. Importance of national income analysis. See, basically the analysis of national income is important for various reasons. Why we should know the total national income. So why it is so important? So in that there are various reasons. We can explain it into 8 reasons. Number 1, measures economic performance of the country. Just now I told you that it is measuring the economic progress. So in the same way you can say here, the same explanation can be also here, that it is measuring the economic performance of the country. Generally, countries are ranked on the basis of the size and the growth rate of their GDP. GDP is gross domestic product. See, in the absence of any alternative measurement, the value of national output and its growth have become standard performance indicator of the country. So any country, when we say the country is developed country or we are giving the rank to the countries, that is totally depending upon the growth rate of the GDP of the country. So national income measures the economic performance of the country. So it is very essential to know the national income of a country. Now the second point is compare standards of living. See, per capita income is what? Per head income. Every person's income, right? How much one person is getting. So total population divided by national income is called as per capita income. So per capita income is an indicator of how a country's national income is distributed among the people, right? So it becomes the measurement of the income inequality and provides the basis for comparing the standard of living of different countries. Now it is very clear, I need not have to tell you that if the per capita income is higher, people have a good standard of living. If per capita income is lower, people have not that good standard of living. And that per capita income, how we come to know? Through national income only. We get the entire information through national income. So for knowing the standard of living of the people, or for comparing even that US standard of living is very high, India's standard of living is not that high, so we are comparing with the standard of living of countries, so that we get to know from the national income. So we have to compare whether the country's standard of living is very high or whether the country's standard of living is very low. Everything we have to find out. And how we get the information? We are getting the information through national income. So national income is very, very important. So this is the second point, that for it compares the standard of living. I told you the meaning of per capita income, that means per head income. Per capita income can be calculated by total population divided by national income. And the per capita income is of course one of the best indicator of the country's national income, that how it is distributed among the people, and it is giving us or it can highlight for comparing the standard of living of different countries. So this is also very, very important. Now the next is sectoral contribution. Sectoral contribution. See, basically you must understand, or you must be aware, that any country, whether the country is developed country, whether the country is undeveloped country, whether the country is developing country, the economy is divided into three sectors. Economy is divided into three sectors. Number one, primary. Number two, secondary. Number three, tertiary. So primary means it is connected with agriculture and allied activities. Agriculture is the main and allied activities of agriculture. Secondary is connected with small scale and large scale industries. That means all the industrial activities are coming under secondary sector. And tertiary sector is a service sector. All services, banking, insurance, everything, whatever the services are there, they are coming under tertiary sector. So there are three sectors in the economy called as primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Now national income shows us that which sector's contribution is higher, which sector's contribution is less, because we are getting the data from how much we are getting income from primary sector, how much we are getting from secondary sector, and how much we are getting from tertiary sector. For example, according to the data of 2019 and 20, the primary sector is not doing well, or the income of the primary sector is low. For example, assume that that is what the data we are getting, that primary sector's income is less and secondary sector is secondary also is less, only tertiary sector is a developed, tertiary sector's income is very very high. So this is what the data we are getting. Then what will happen? The data is there. So on that data, the country, the government can take a decision what measures we have to take to focus on primary sector and on secondary sector to get more income from them also. See, basically what happens when any of the country, tertiary sector is developed, that country is called as a developed country. But we want to develop the country in all the three sectors, because three sectors are equally important. We know now today, if you see that primary sector, agriculture is how much it is important, right? Every sector is very very important. So if we are getting more income from primary sector, less income from secondary and less from tertiary, government can take action, government can take measures to get the best, we can say that to get the best income from those sectors also. So how government can take the measures to develop the primary sector, to develop the secondary sector, or to develop the even tertiary sector, that is totally depending upon the national income, because national income is giving us the full data that what is the contribution of primary sector, what is the contribution of secondary sector, and what is the contribution of tertiary sector. So accordingly government can take the decisions, take the measures to develop those sectors. So sectoral distribution is the third point. It shows that national income measuring or knowing national income is very very important. Now the next, measurement of economic welfare. Now economic welfare, what is the meaning of welfare? Welfare means what? Welfare means, we are getting so many facilities like welfare. Country is called as a welfare state. That means people are getting education facilities, people are getting health services, good infrastructure, roads, electricity, water facility, public parks, and transport facility, communication facility. All these are coming under welfare. So whether the country is having economic welfare or not, that is also we can understand through national income. See, basically changes in the consumption of national income over a time can be an indicator to assess the economic welfare. That means to understand whether the welfare facilities are there or not, whether the good health facilities are there or not, education facilities are there or not, people are using it or not. Every data we are getting through national income. So whether the country is having economic welfare or not, that also we are getting through the national income. So changes in the composition of national income over time can be an indicator to assess the economic welfare. Okay, because it is only reflecting whether there is a positive welfare, positivity is there in economic welfare, or negativity is there on economic welfare. For example, now I can give you the current example. Now this corona is spreading like anything. If government does not have the health facility, that means it is like government is not able to provide the welfare facilities, right? But if government is giving us lots of facilities, so many things are available to us, that means economic welfare facilities are available to the people, and that everything we get from the national income. Now the next point is changes in price level. Now the national income statistic can be used to estimate trends in the price level and forecast future inflationary or deflationary trends. What is the meaning of inflation? Inflation means price is rising. What is the meaning of deflation? That is price is falling. That how you come to know that? It is only the national income statistic. National income data is giving us all those things. The GDP, that is gross domestic product, GNP, that is gross net product, is measured at current prices and at constant prices, right? So the comparison between the GDP, GNP can help in estimating the price level changes, because one must understand, or the country must understand, whether there is inflation or deflation. Inflation is there, then there will be demand will be less, so entire effect is there on the economy. If deflation is there, then demand will be more. That means if the price is low, the demand will be more. So entire effect is there on the economy. So inflation and deflation are affecting the economy. That means changes in the price level is very, very important to know. Sometimes the prices are growing, sometimes the prices are coming down, but that is what we must know, because that is, and how we come to know that the price level is changing, whether there is inflation or whether there is deflation, through national income statistic. So for that, in that connection also, now this national income, knowing national income is very, very important. Now the next is business forecast. What do you mean by forecast? Forecast means to predict. Predict, that is like, like say for example, last week it was forecasted that rains will be very heavy in Mumbai. That is what is the forecasting. Like this, there is a business forecasting, that is the growth rates, or and other related national income measures are used by businesses to forecast future business activities. See, generally what happens, businesses make decision to enter in the market, right? The data from the different time periods help business predict future trends and market decisions regarding investments. See, data, when the data is available, then that data can tell us that what will be the future trend, what is going to happen in future, right? The data is available, then the business people can predict, okay, fine, this is the commodity where there is a good demand. Now see, in the now we can say that sanitizers, last 3 months back we were not even so, majority of the population in India was not even aware about the sanitizers. Majority of the population of India was not even aware about the why should we use the mask. So now what is the trend, what is the trend now, that the data is available that corona is spreading in our country, and for that what is required, like we have to use sanitizers frequently, we have to use mask when we are going out. So that production is coming now. So the business is thinking in that line, on those lines, that what to produce, what not to produce, to whom to produce, for what to produce. All these forecasters, they are very important. These forecasts are really very, very important for any business. See, say for example, if I say that today I am going to start new production and where I am going to produce only typewriters, people will laugh at me. They will say, what is a foolish thing you are doing now? Because today typewriter does not have the demand. The demand is for smartphones, demand is for iPads, demand is for laptops, demand is for computers, right? So this is what that forecast we are getting through the national income, and the data from the different time periods. Last month this was the data. Like see, now all of a sudden online lectures have started, online meetings have started, online everything is online. We are also even doing all the transactions online. We are paying through Google Pay and all. So what is now? What is the trend now? What has happened, that we are using all the internet facilities. So now this internet facility providers, they know that last month this much of consumption was there. Now they can predict that this month this will be a consumption and the next month this will be a consumption. So like that they can predict. So all the businesses always predict what is going to happen in future. Or I can give you another example, like in the rainy season, what the business people are thinking, that demand for raincoats will be very high, demand for umbrellas will be very high, demand for wind cheaters will be very high. So they keep the production ready for the season. So for this is a simple example I am telling you, but for every business it is very important to know what is the trend in the economy, or what is the trend in the market, and accordingly they will do their production. So business forecast, that also is like, for that also the national income is very, very, knowing national income is very, very important. Now the next point is global income distribution. See, national income data of different countries are used to determine global distribution of income and wealth. So, this knowledge is used by international development agencies to put in place programs to reduce the global inequalities. See, now this is again a macro concept, it is not a micro one. Macro means it is not only coming as a India's income, but it is a global income. So the international agencies, they are using the knowledge by the for placing various programs to reduce global inequalities. So what is the global income distribution? Whether this country is rich, other country is not. Why it is happening, right? So these global international agencies are there. They are also arranging some programs to reduce the global inequalities. So for that purpose also, the national income is very, very important. And the last point is economic planning and policies. That is the sub, like you can give the entire thing in that. Economic planning and policies. Basically, as I said, that every government has to make some long-term plans, medium-term plans and short-term plans, right? So they are making the plans. How they are making the plans? Their entire planning is depending upon the data of the national income. They are getting the data of the national income and accordingly they make a plan, right? Now how our government has made a plan that MSME will be developed, MSME will be given lot of attention, or Atmanirbhar Bharat. So this is a long-term plan, like government wants to give lots of facilities to the people, employment opportunity creation, and medium-term medium industries or some small-scale industries, macro industries, micro industries, they should get a development. So these plans government is making on the data available with them of national income. If national income is very, very high also, even then to keep more income or to achieve more targets, some long-term plans the country has to make, some medium-term plans the country has to make, and some short-term plans also country has to make. So that means for any economic planning and policies, what the policy has to be there, for that also knowing national income is very, very important. Like policy, I can say now, the current example I can give, that government has made the policy that till November the poverty, those who are poor people, they will be getting the income, they will be getting the income, as well as they will be getting some amount of 5 kg of rice, 5 kg of wheat or dal, all those things, right? So this is what is the government policy now. Why this policy have come up? Why government announced this policy? Because government knows the national income of the country. Government is having the entire data. Government knows that last 3-4 months people are not working. They don't have money in their hands, and that is why government has made the policy. So for economic planning and policies, knowing national income is must. So there are no two options whether it is important or not important. It is important. So national income, knowing national income is very, very important, and all the 8 points I discussed with you, that the measures of performance of the country, it measures the standard of living, it gives us the information about the sectoral distribution, then it measures even the economic welfare, it shows us whether there is a inflation or deflation, then the person can forecast about the business and the global income distribution, how it is, whether there is an inequality or not, all those things. And on the top, the economic planning and policy is must for every country, and the country can make a very successful plan when the correct data of national income is available. So country can make the plans accordingly. This is what you have to write in that.